Good morning, everyone. I'm back to do another reading. As I was sitting here, the messages started to flood in here as I was touching the cards, so I thought that I would pull a few more cards and see what we get. So I'll get started with the message that was coming through at the time that I was touching the cards. So the divine wants you to know, Spirit, that your counterpart, your twin flame counterpart, or higher divine counterpart, however you see it, has come, it's come full circle, that he fully understands that you have known about this union for a very long time. All right. And that you kept it hidden and that you didn't talk about it, meaning you didn't identify to be specifically a higher divine union with those types of words. Now, I feel like both counterparts always felt it in the heart space. But in terms of understanding it from an intellectual or cognitive perspective in a conscious way, I don't think so. And he's very proud of you for that. It impresses him that you were able to hold back, because I'm getting that there was karmic energy that set in shortly after your separation that really dabbled in spiritual, I'm hearing warfare, but spiritual tactics to really trap your counterpart in believing this in that person's way of thinking and embodying that energy. And it was a strong influence, a stronghold, a way to keep him stuck, basically. I'm hearing all these words flooding in. And it was up to him to figure that out. And this is why Divine Feminine, it took tremendous strength and love and courage to be able to know all of this and not say anything. And you see how her head is hidden? Because when I was placing the cards, I wanted to fix them, and they said to leave them like this because it's a part of the message. So just know that he has not exposed this to the world either, because he understands that it's not for the world to understand. It's private, and understands you've kept it private. You understand that it's sacred, and you treat it properly. That's why you have the keys here, and the keys are exposed. And the twins are safeguarded. So the divine wants us to know that the divine has always safeguarded this union, even though it feels like it hasn't been safeguarded. Okay, it has. The divine has allowed things to go as far as they needed to go in order to stretch out as far as possible for these twins to be strong as can be, because the divine's strongest allies and forces and angels and beings need to be trained, need to learn and grow in ways that will benefit not only themselves but the entire universe. So that doesn't just happen. You need to learn and grow over time. But you've been safeguarded. Just know that. The other message I was getting was that your counterpart is needing to expose himself a little bit more here, because it's his turn. And he's standing in the right position now, and he's taking over in terms of that spiritual position to be able to bring this reconciliation back to you. He's ready and prepared to do the work. I feel like he's already done all of that. He's just now kind of assessing things, making sure everything's perfect before coming to you here. Okay. There's a really good understanding of what is required here to manifest successfully, and that's pulling from the light. Okay. There isn't a need to fight anymore. So he was kind of caught a little bit with still fighting with some of these karmics, even though everything was over and done with. It could have been for revenge. I heard the word dirty, but it's just not appropriate. So I think he's coming out of that energy. So the counterpart that kind of got left behind because, they got trapped there with that energy, that's part of learning as well. I don't say that in a negative way. I'm just channeling, but sometimes people misinterpret that as like the person that's channeling's personal opinion. It's not like that. So that's really good. You see how these people are sitting on their butts? So he's had the last word, and that's really, really good. in that they're not really prepared to fight anymore. So they know they have to sit there and listen and be quiet. This is the divine, again, guiding and shining the light on what is required here to finally pull this in to the 3D, into the 5D, into the physical plane of existence for these twin counterparts that have had a very long journey. It's been very, very long, and it's time. You've embodied many different lives and many different experiences in order to learn, and it was all perfectly orchestrated for you to get to this next point. All right. And I'm getting there's going to need to be a lot of conversations between the counterparts, because I feel like there's still a little bit of an opposing view on stuff. There might be a few little struggles here and there, but just know the divine will be guiding you this entire way and will bring light to the situation wherever it needs. Okay. But things will be tabled properly, and that divine is protecting the table. Okay. And all these tools that are required here. See our Archangel Metatron in the background here. Just know that he's always here safeguarding us, and it's important to trust and have faith and believe, okay? Because there's definitely change coming, and it's positive change. That heart is still healing. That's a master healer. We know the amethyst crystal, but this fire and ice quartz, it's clearing. So we're setting it down the timeline ahead of time to clear the pathway for the communication that's at hand here. That's very imminent. I'm picking up a lot of stress and strain here on this on this counterpart here. That's what they're coming out of. We just don't want them to bring that with them to kind of hamper this. Yeah, my right ear's ringing. To hamper this reconciliation, because you're going to have one or two conversations and then you're going to jump right into your union. If there's been a delay, or if you haven't heard from your person, that's why. The divine doesn't want that to come in, to set in a way that's going to contaminate. And just know that justice will be had here, okay, for you. And that you don't, that was the other message, sorry. You don't have to fight anymore and put yourself out there anymore. The divine and your counterpart are taking over that position, because you've held that position for too long, okay? You need rest and healing. This could be, your heart, divine feminine, because they know that you have been kind of left in the dark and not always been able to see and understand and fully understand everything. And, it's time to come back home. It's time to speak up. It's like to each other. And yes, the divine masculine might have a sense or feel like certain things are a priority, but you may have a different sense of what is a priority. And that's kind of what I was picking up on earlier here with the different conversations that are going to be had and the struggles that might present themselves initially. But stay calm and be respectful and take the time that you need to settle and to think. You don't want things to be contentious. You've worked too hard to get here, and stay strong. They want me to pull up this communication card here, because that's key. All right, I'm just pulling another card here. So I'm hearing that you're coming from behind, right? And look, you are the one left standing here. It's interesting, the design here on the card. I just in honor of an occasion for myself, which I'll keep private. I got a henna tattoo. I just want to show it here. Okay. And it's reminding me here of what's on the card there. Isn't that interesting? Wow, the colors are similar too. But just know that you embody the strength of this beautiful animal, and this is an animal that's working with you as well spiritually. And your children also look up to you. The trees are also emanating energy that will keep you safe and strong and shelter you. If ever you're in nature, find a tree. If you need grounding, if you need support, if you have trees on your property, they're safeguarding, they're elementals, part of the earth plane that are helping you. Okay, the moon is also working in your favor. I'm just going to pull another angelic card here. Yeah, see, your inner strength can and will move mountains. That's fabulous. And I really like this card as well. Let's read it. The Lovers, yes. Joy and pleasure brings happiness to couples, removes negative energy. All right, so that's safeguarded. There's nothing anybody can do to prevent this from happening. It's coming. And I'm hearing that, oh yeah, I have a little draft there. Do you see that? That's Moonstone. That your counterpart is coming with a vengeance. He's very angry. I don't know what he's so angry about. I think he's angry with himself that he resisted so long and that he was stubborn and got played, and it's brought havoc in his own life. The divine is telling me for us not to worry about that, because that's between him and the divine. The divine's going to make sure that he's in good status when he comes back to talk to you. The forces of evil are being dealt with, is what I just heard. Yeah, see the truth there? Wow. Where other forces would have wanted you to lay down and be quiet and sit back and be quiet, and I'm hearing other unkind words, that's not the case. That's not what's going to happen here. You stand out amongst everyone, and that's the way that it was intended. The divine has been really using you, divine feminine, to assist with getting things up to this point. And the last time you would have been together with your counterpart, he held back. He knew he should have spoke up at that time, and he didn't. He chose not to. He was careless and not speaking up. Because I feel like there was karma that set in pretty quick because of that. And that's partly what he's dealing with right now. It's unfortunate, but it's required. And the divine is assisting with that process for them to better understand how to come forward the next time. So pretty. So just know that there'll be opportunities to speak again very, very soon, and you'll thrive because of that communication. Archangel Metatron is very powerful right now in your presence and your energetic fields to support this. Yeah, let's see what else is here. Illumination, yeah, you see? That's what you're striving for, okay? Much, much, much will be illuminated. You know, he's concerned that he doesn't want anyone else to kind of step into his position here in your life. And he knows it's taken a long time, but you know, there's something to be said about not rushing things and being irresponsible, because these unions are not to be treated that way. And the Divine Feminine has really understood that and has really followed her guidance, as difficult as it was, as much as she didn't always fully understand because what we feel and what we get sometimes isn't what we see in the physical, because we're connected to that spiritual realm, and it happens there first in order, as above so below, in order for us to be able to pull it into the physical. And we're working in tandem with each other all the time. And I'm getting another message that they were like annoyed, a little bit mad, frustrated that you knew and you didn't say anything. So back to that previous message in the very beginning of the reading, that's not our place to do that. You know, we can't interfere and influence other people, especially our counterparts. No. Each person's responsible for themselves. That relationship between that person and the divine is very individual. Okay. And he's very, very clear on who's the right partner for him and who was the right person this whole time. It wasn't the previous karmic partners. I mean, those people were there to teach lessons and to guide in the ways that was required, you know. And he understands. He didn't fully understand his own like thought process, in that he made decisions that were made in haste because of like sexual pressures I'm hearing from other people. Like he didn't stand up for himself to say no, he wasn't ready, he didn't want to, things like that. You know, no more of that. The divine is supporting him. He's praying. And it's difficult for them to come back after so long when they've been with other people. It's not easy. They feel guilty. You know, once you come to full fruition and understand all of this to be what it is, and you had it the whole time available to you, you know, and that this Divine Feminine knew, you know, it's mortifying. It's horrifying for them to go through that process. Now, this has been an ongoing illumination for this masculine process for a very long time, but each step of the way is a new layer that is revealed, and a new layer that needs reconciling and forgiveness and healing. And you always exercise the right amount of pressure, not too much, you know, just enough to say, hey, you know, what are you doing? Do you need help? Are you okay? And if they weren't, we'd step back and let them be like that, but far away from us, you know? And that's showing love. That's proper love. I'm getting marriage with this card, even though it's not a marriage card. I don't know if this is typically seen that way or not, but he's walking away from something that's dark here. And he sees now the illumination that, you know, all the times that and all the opportunities he had to have coffee with you, to have a drink with you, to get together with you, he mucked up. He's leaving all that behind, because it was an opportunity that he could have become more enlightened, because you're that person now, he knows. And he missed out on all those opportunities. You know, today's the day. Look. There's hearts here. Yeah, going forward. See? It's a step in the right direction, and it's one step at a time. You can't jump ahead. Even though you feel it and you can see it, and that's the struggle with people that have their gifts online. You know, it's hard when you can see the finish line, but you can't just jump ahead to that finish line. It needs to be hand in hand, and you need to be in balance, and you need to be on the same page, and if you're not, then it's not going to work. But it's his heart's truest desire. Look, he's leaning back towards what brings him joy and what brings him comfort, and that's in the heart space here. And that's what he wants to be married to. That's the truth that's required here. This is you two that were left out in the cold, that looked disheveled a little bit. This is the past, though. He knows that you two struggled because of his choices and decisions, focused on money, you know. But he also knows that the divine has safeguarded this. He feels really at one with and at peace with the natural world, with the divine, and he needs to bring this to you now. And he knows that you also achieved that really close bond and relationship as well while he was away. You both did that. You both journeyed on your own on that path and really found God again from within and really did your work in a really nice way. You should be very proud. Oh, wow, look, I just pulled, right? I feel the love of God within me now. That's what I was just saying. Sorry, let's read the message here. Your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all of the barriers within yourself that have built against it. Exactly. Exactly. Let me be still and listen to the truth. I feel like this is what's coming with this conversation here. Sit quiet like the two together. Sit quietly and close your eyes. The light within you is sufficient. It alone has power to give the gift of sight to you. Exclude the outer world and let your thoughts fly to the peace within. They know the way. The twins know the way now. You know the way. So you're following that light. See the light here? Look at that. It's incredible. And one more. Truth will correct all errors in my mind. By speaking your truths, it'll correct the things that you both didn't fully see properly or understand properly. It'll give you an opportunity to apologize when you talk. When a situation has been dedicated wholly to truth, peace is inevitable. So it's inevitable that you're going to be able to heal this when you do come together with that good communication, okay? Just take that in. There's one more card peeking out. It can be but myself I crucify. It can be but myself I crucify. Interesting. Let's see. You have no idea of the tremendous release and deep peace that comes from meeting yourself and your brothers totally without judgment. Yeah, okay. It's how you see things, right? And the way that we saw things, like what I was saying earlier, wasn't correct, right? And we needed to work on ourselves to clarify and find that light and figure it all out. And so there's been a lot of release, but there's more to be done now and more to be released. And that can't happen until you come together and sit quietly and talk and address that elephant in the room. Oh yeah, see the card underneath. Forgiveness offers everything I want. Each lily of forgiveness offers all the world the silent miracle of love. On that note, I feel like we should leave it there. We are safeguarding this reunion. You will rectify all that's needed to be rectified here with the conversation that's coming, and it will bring you the marriage that you seek. Okay. You have felt it from within this entire time, and that's not easy. Congratulations to those of you who stuck this out, who committed to this love, committed to yourself for healing, to commit to rebuilding your relationship with God. Because it had to be redefined, really. And this is what happens as we change, we evolve and grow. And that's what God expects from us. Today is the day. You're going to see, and much will be revealed to you today. When you receive this reading, and I was going to say read, so maybe read a letter, a card they're going to send you, a text message they're going to send you. The way that they speak in that message, or the way that they say something or send something to you, you're going to know that it's open the door to this. This will soon follow, okay? It's very close. It's not far away. So hang on, okay? One more card here. The Helping God. Two of Wands. Love and wisdom. Love and wisdom, victory over those who would attack you. Okay, that's not going to happen anymore. They don't want, your counterpart doesn't want you to be attacked, doesn't want this union to be attacked in the way that it has this entire time. He knows he needs to stand by himself, to stand by you, to stand by this union and everything that embodies it. Okay? Everything that it touches is protected by God, and we embody that energy. Okay? And look, see that? The angels have assisted in the balancing that has been needed in order for this truth, this conversation to be had here. You've offered healing in many ways and many different times throughout this journey, and it's his turn now. Okay? He was blind, he didn't see, so while you were off healing, he was doing things, in a different way. But he's coming out of this dark period of time. Okay, there isn't going to be all this fighting anymore. There's no need to fight. That's what I was getting earlier with that Five of Wands. And the After Tarot, they're seated except for one, and that's him. Okay, much has been illuminated to him through your healing and through your healing touch I'm getting. And with the divine as well. That personal relationship with him, he gets lots of messages. So all the time he spends alone, he gets lots and lots of downloads. It's wonderful. One more card there. Nine of Pentacles. Submission to higher order identifies traitors and destroys their plans. You see? That's your twin now. That's who he embodies. But that sword is down. It's not like in a fighting position, and so is the shield. He's protecting that part of his structure, though. That's still perhaps a little bit weak, but not to worry. It's okay. Everything will be fine. The spirit of the bear is with you. All right, with him, and that leadership is going to come through very, very clearly. Oh, I've never received this card before. Let's see what this is. The Two of Cups. These swiftly hearkening God. Fruition provides expansive intelligence and gives the grace of God. Wow. Wow. Yes. That's the twins. That's what you're going to embody as you come into full fruition here. Yes, Queen of Cups. What's this? I've never seen this one either. These are brand new to me from Christmas. God the Redeemer, Queen of Cups. Redemption. Serves against enemies of religion. Governs chastity. Wow. He respects you for the way that you respect your body, the way you've respected this union, and you didn't go and venture off and do all these things the way that he did. And you taught him so much, and he observed you so very closely from afar. It was really an obsession before. It's not so much an obsession anymore. Like he's more relaxed with it because he trusts you. He knows that and really fully believes in all this now in the same way that you do. He's just much more relaxed. The issue is just a little bit still of ego and saving face, but he knows he needs to come, and he's coming. He won't withhold this from you. All right. He knows not to. And he's fired up. That heart is feeling beautiful. It's pumping in a very healthy way. The auric field feels really, really good. Just providing a clearing now for Divine Masculine. Just give me a sec. Just everything in behind them. Just we don't want anything following them home and being stuck there, as you know, they are going to step forward and talk to us because it will form some form of distraction a little bit and bug them, and we don't want that. Just support and love with feathers and light crystals. Okay. And set that Metatronic cube and reset, they're saying, the Metatronic cube properly. All right, everyone. Congratulations, and I wish you so much luck and good fortune. All right. Take good care.